found some misinformation on the internet.
Oh, what are you doing around here?
Oh, I'm here to misguide people, because I'm dumb.
Okay. That was a really dumb intro. I know. But we got some myth busting to do today in Path of Exile too. So, I got a comment on my YouTube that I'm sure will pop up somewhere around here. Probably right here is where it'll pop up. Allies on Scepter doesn't work for minions BTW. So I started doing some searching around the internet. So there's this theory going around that Allies on Scepters doesn't work on minions. So very quickly, we're just going to show some minion stuff. And let me just show minions first. So right here, we can see that on my minions for arc, let's look at their arc damage. We'll see that the casts per second on arc are 1.3 casts per second. So that's how many casts they do per second, right? And I want to show something real quick. I want to show that plus to level of minion affects it a little tiny bit. So 1.34. So I just took off a lightning thing. And then also minion mastery right here affects it a little bit, 1.37. So you can see that that affects it a little bit, where it's actually changing the cast per second, even though all it's really doing is changing the level of the minion. And the reason that's important is because I'm going to take this staff off, okay? And this staff right here has increased cast speed to minions, right? And what I don't want people to think, it goes down to 1.19. What I don't want you to think is that the level of the minion is all that affected it, right? So the level of the minions plus 4 levels, that matters a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this scepter right here that doesn't have any minion levels on it. And that's why like showing the levels was important. And we're going to see if it actually affects my skeletons right here. So I got to delete some skeletons real fast to be able to use it. But so now we can see my cast per second is 1.2. So this is allies in your presence have 19% increase of cast speed. And let's really quick, let's look at what it says for allies. It says your allies include other players, minions, and any other entity that fights alongside you and has its own stats. The key thing there is has its own stats. Okay, that's really, really important because some people are talking about totems with this. And I'm pretty sure totems inherit your like attack speed and shit. When you're casting a totem out, it inherits what you have as a player for like physical totems. I'm not sure if that's true for like ballista totems. But so some people are saying because it doesn't affect totems, it doesn't affect normal minions, right? So our attack speed right now, our cast per second is 1.2, so we should see a difference when I put this on. That's only 19%, so it's not a big difference, but we see right away that the only thing I've changed here, I've got a little bit more intelligence, and I have a little bit more mana. Neither one of those things are going to affect my cast speed, and my cast speed has actually gone up to 1.39, right? And I got a bunch of other scepters we can look at. I kind of was stocking up on some scepters to kind of show off... I think I put them in here, yeah. I just grabbed some random scepters. I really don't even know what's on these scepters, except I know they don't have, like, levels in spirit or, you know, I don't know. Like, they don't have a lot of stuff on them. So, this scepter right here, let's find one. So, right here. Allies in your presence have a 10% increased attack speed, right? So, attack speed... So, if I was going to put this on my Storm Mages, this actually won't affect my Storm Mages, because my Storm Mages don't have attack speed, they have cast speed. So going back to that Steam post, they were talking about doing added lightning damage to skeletal, like, I think they were talking about warriors at the time, because they're really early in the game, right? Or they're talking about fire minions. And it's not going to show that added extra lightning damage if your minion's not doing the lightning damage. That isn't to say you can't add lightning damage and cold damage to minions that aren't doing that. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, if you take this attack speed and you put it on here, arc should still stay down to 1.2. And I take it off and I look back at arc and it's still at 1.2. And it's like, if I was looking at this, I would go, okay, well, that doesn't affect this. Like, that doesn't affect minions, right? But if I look at a minion that actually uses attack speed, so I have 2 minions that use attack speed. One of them is my Summon Infernal Hound, okay? So on Summon Infernal Hound with its basic attack, okay, so now we're looking at the basic attack, we can see the damage per second is 3,700 and the attacks per second are 1.73 right now with this attack speed on. We take it off, look back at basic attacks, it goes down to 3,200 and 1.6. And then remember, all this is adding physical damage and attack speed. Physical damage isn't going to increase the attacks per second. Only attack speed is going to do that. And now I look back at the basic attack. The basic attack has gone up, and also the attacks per second have gone up. But again, looking back at my other minion, my skeletal storm mages, if I wasn't taking into account that they don't have attack speed, they have cast speed, I would go, oh, scepters don't affect these minions. So your scepters not only affect all the people around you, and they do affect the people around you. I play in groups all the time, and when my friends are close to me, they get buffed. And you can see those buffs, right? So going back to, let's just test out like 1 or 2 more staffs real quick just to show. So here's another attack speed one, but it also has, well, it just has attack speed. 9% increased attack speed. This has 10% increased attack speed. So on the Infernal Hound, why not? Let's just look at the basic attack and just see the difference. So now we're looking at 1.72 and 3700 versus a flat 1.7, or sorry, 1.73, because this is 10%, this is 9%. So you're not necessarily going to see the changes on the minions if you're not, for one, looking in the right place, because Summon Infernal Hound has a lot of places to look for damage. For example, there is an increased radius on these guys. Let's find... Oh, we can also do the accuracy one if you want to. So has allies in your presence have 115 increased accuracy rating. So we have a 521 accuracy rating right now. We put this on. And right there, we see that this doesn't affect that. So... So these are some of the things I think people are finding to kind of go, oh, scepters don't affect your allies because of this. Because right here, we're seeing that this isn't increasing this accuracy rating at all. And there could be a lot of reasons this is happening. I don't know why this is happening, but there could be a lot of reasons this is happening. But there are allies on scepters does affect minions. It might not, it just might not affect them the ways, for one, you think it affects them. And then two, it might not affect the minion that you have out specifically, right? So if you want to increase the attack speed of a skeletal storm mage, you have to do cast speed, right? But if you want to increase the attack speed of, you know, skeletal warriors, reavers, whatever, you have to do attack speed, right? Because it's based on casting versus attacking. And then you also have like right here, allies in your presence. Let's see, all I have is cast speed still. Cast speed, increased damage. Okay, so let's go back to my skeletal storm mages, and let's actually put on, so instead of just the increased attack speed, let's also look at the damage. Right now I'm sitting at 2,800 damage, right? That's really low for Arc in general, and I'm going to put this on, and it's going to jump up to 7,200. That's not jumping up just because of 4 levels. 4 levels, we can take out 2 levels here, and we can see that 2 levels is going to take it down, you know, like 2,000. But trust me when I say, like, 4 levels is not going to do that by itself. That increased damage is also amplifying the amount of damage they're doing, right? And you can also see it's also within 6 meters. So, you know, just if you have anything that isn't working on your minions, like you can't see that there's a difference in any way, shape, or form. Like I can verifiably prove the I already proved the cast speed here with this. Now we don't have a targeting dummy, so I can't go out and I can't show, you know, like definitive proof that that this is doing more damage on an actual enemy. Somebody could easily come in here and say, well, you know, that's just in theory. In practice, it's not really working. And my counter to that would be, for one, we don't have an attack dummy yet. 2, the sheet DPS, I can go out and I can fill these differences. You can go out yourself and fill these differences too and see, like, you know, what it's affecting. I'd really like to get a scepter that just had attack speed on it or increased attack damage and didn't have any levels on it. Let's see if I happen to have one in here somewhere. So allies in your presence, still additional physical damage. Like additional physical damage wouldn't affect my elemental minions. Plus 16 to elemental resistances. So if you want to see that real quick, you can see that one pretty easily too. You can go down here to minions and you can see my elemental resist here, 78, 78, 83, and it shows a max of 83. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this on, and you'll see that they all cap out at 83. So the elemental resist right there, you're seeing the increased elemental resist affect my minion right away. Also, another thing you're seeing is you'll see you should be able to see maybe under miscellaneous. I'm trying to find where it might put the regenerate 3.7 second, 3.7, oh, there we go, total recovery. So you can see my really horrible regeneration roll of 3.7. My minions have 833 life recovery per second. And if I take this off, it goes down to 830. So you can see that three life per second actually increasing the life per second on the minions. So I've given a lot of examples of this working, and I'd really like to do the attack damage one if I have one in here that doesn't have any levels. I mean, we can also see the maximum life ones. So for max life ones, we can see that again if you want to really quickly. We can see their total max life is 4,600. I put the Scepter on. Their total max life jumps up to 5,600. And that's pure, again, there's nothing on this Scepter that's good. There's nothing on this Scepter that's increasing levels. It's just increasing max life, but it's only for minions have that increased life. If it said allies in your presence, it would be all your friends too. This stuff doesn't, I haven't tested totems. I don't know anything about totems, so I'm not going to speak on them. But from what I read online, it seems like totems might be unaffected or whatever. But as far as this goes, like, I mean, this is it's pretty cut and dry. I've shown multiple examples of how Scepters actually affect your minions. It's a myth that they don't affect your minions. And we just busted it. Now, there might be certain things like the accuracy rating. We didn't really see where that affected it, but I didn't look too deep, to be fair. I think there are plenty of examples of showing just in this video where it actually affects your minions. So, yeah, myth busted. Boom! Myth busted. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if there were some stats that were messed up, and I really would like to look into everything and know like what works, what doesn't. But for now, we're just going to move on from here. I was just like, why is this thing red? You can't use this item? Oh, because I don't have a bell on. Okay. I was like, okay, what's going on here? Okay, well, that's it. Myth busted, video over. I'm going to go ahead and cancel it here. I'll see you in the next one.